one more game for the Nintendo Wii, and that is Wii U, that is, and that's Jeopardy.
This is Jeopardy! Please welcome our contestants. Player 1. Player 2. Player 3. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Johnny Gilbert, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Let's take you right now into the Jeopardy round. Clues are worth $200 to $1,000 in these categories. Olive oil. This is your life, Abe Lincoln. Animals. Brit speak. Papa was a rolling stone. And plays. Player 1, here's Kelly with the clue.
1 in every 6 known bird species makes its home in this rainforest.
It's gotta be the Amazon.
Yes, player 1? Yeah, good. Sputniks 5, 6, 9, and 10 carried these animals into space.
What are the chimpanzees?
Let's hear it, player 1.
Monkeys?
Nope.
Oh, rats.
Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this?
Now I know it.
It's player 3.
Not cat.
No, sorry. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Yes, player 2.
It's dogs.
Yep. All right, let's get back into this. Player 2 has control. Got one of these odorous animals, also known as a polecat, as a pet? Call your Humane Society to make sure it's legal.
That would definitely be a skunk.
Let's hear it, player 1. That's correct. Good. Back on the plus side. Critters of the Pleistocene epoch include the mammoth and this breast-tooth relative. It's player 1.
I'm going to say, what is the mastodon?
Correct. Player 1, as in Dachshund, is German for this burrowing animal. Okay, player 1.
I'm going to say, what is a badger?
Right.
Alright, I got that right.
Select again. Fancy a cuppa, love? Cuppa is a cup of this.
What is tea?
Let's hear it, player 1. Hey, you're right. Player 1. This brand name has become a noun and a verb for vacuum.
What's a dustbuster?
It's player 1. Sorry. Any other takers? Okay, player 2. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? It's player 3. That's correct. You're out of the hole. Player 3, you start us off. Marcia Hunt was the mom of his first child, Karis. He had daughter number 2, Jade, with Bianca.
Who is Mick Jagger?
Player 1? Yes. This guitarist originally named one daughter Dandelion. She goes by Angela these days. Okay, player one.
I will say who is Keith Richards.
Correct. Please. This bassist wed Mandy Smith. After the two split, his son dated Mandy's mom. He could have been stepdad to his ex-stepmom.
That's confusing.
Player one?
But I will say who is Mick Taylor.
Nope. Sorry. Any other takers? Here's the response we were looking for. Bill Wyman. Player knock one. On this guitarist, Leah and Tyrone's dad, who joined the band in 1975. It's player one.
Who is Ronnie Wood?
That is correct. Serafina's Pop. He began manning the drums for the Stones in 1963. Yes, player one?
Who is... It's not Max Weinberg. I'll say who is Ian Stewart.
No, sorry. Any other takers? Yes, player three?
Oh.
No, that's not right. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Yes, player two. Good. Okay, let's get back into this. Player two, you make the next selection as we... You might need a learner's permit to watch Paula Vogel's Pulitzer Prize play, How I Learned to Do This. It's player one. Correct. The play Spinning into Butter explores political correctness at a small college in this Green Mountain state. Let's hear it, player one. Correct. Player one? It's the Daily Double. You are in first place. Here is your Daily Double clue. Moonlight and Magnolias depicts the epic struggle to turn this novel into a 1939 film. That puts you even further ahead. You again. Matthew Burnett turned this Our Town playwright's novel, Theophilus North, into a play. Let's hear it, player one. Yes. In 2006, New Yorkers awoke to find his 1935 play, Awake and Sing, back on Broadway. It's player one. Yes. Player one. While Americans put gas in their cars, the British put in this six-letter equivalent. Player one? Yep. This term for an electrical outlet sounds like a presentations program from Microsoft. It's player one. You are correct. Player one. As they have a tendency to burst open in the frying pan, sausages are popularly called these. Okay, player one. Correct. Player one, you pick it. Most U.S.-produced olive oil comes from this state, so watch out, you dancing raisins. Let's hear it, player one. Right. Player one. It's pure and delicious. The oil that's the cold-pressed result of the first pressing of olives is extra this. Let's hear it, player one. Hey, you're right. Here's a pH test. All olive oils are graded in accordance with the degree of this they contain. Lower is better. It's player one. Good. This Greek dish of lamb marinated in olive oil and spices, grilled and skewered, gets its name from the Greek for skewer. Yes, player one? Good. This LA Area Institute's famed olive walk is harvested for olive oil named for the school. Okay, player one? Yes. You get to. In 1870, Congress granted her an annual pension of $3,000. Call her Sugar Mama or simply your wife. Here's. It's player one. Correct. You said of this general, I can't spare this man, he fights. He sure seems to be enjoying the green room. It's player one. Good for you. So in 1860, he got 12 electoral votes, but you got the job. Feel free to debate. Player one? Good. Player you one. Said if this general is not using the army, I should like to borrow it for a while. Say hello to. Let's hear it, player one. Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else? It's player three. You got it. And here's the $1,000 clue. Secretary of War for Franklin Pierce, some called him Mr. President, though certainly not you. Say hello to. Let's hear it, player one. Player three is in third place and will select first in the Double Jeopardy round, as we always do, right after this break. Clues are worth $400 to $2,000 in these categories. Flowers. Music class. Graphic novels on film. World leaders. Crossword clues B. And the Arctic Ocean. A lot of clues, a lot of categories, player three. Make us. On sheet music, this sign identifies the second line of the staff as the G above middle C. Let's hear it, player one. Ooh, sorry. That's incorrect. Any other takers? Here's what we were looking for. The treble clef. The name of this section of an orchestra comes from the Latin for a beating.
Category is going to be the toughest one.
It's player one. That's right. Way to go. Oh, and I'll hand it off to Jimmy.
The guitarist here is playing one of these, defined as a combination of 3 or more notes.
Player one? Good for you. So you may have studied these Chopin pieces, whose name is French for studies. Player one? Good. Please. Rachmaninoff wrote one on a theme of Paganini. Gershwin wrote one in blue. Yes, player one? Correct. Select again. The shortest way to sail to the Arctic Ocean from Nome, Alaska, is to go north through the strait named for him.
Oh, Venice Bering.
Let's hear it, player one. Good. Player one. The spiral tusk of this cetacean that inhabits the waters of the Arctic Ocean may reach a length of 10 feet. Yes, player one? Hey, you're right. In the early 1770s, England's Samuel Hearne became the first European to reach the Arctic Ocean overland from this bay.
Don't think it's the Hudson Bay.
It's player one.
I will just say, or it could be. You know what? I'll just say it was Hudson Bay.
Yep.
I didn't think it was it, but then it was. Yeah, that's it.
So the Arctic Ocean's deepest point, about 17,880 feet, lies just north of this country's Svalbard Islands.
What is Norway?
Yes, player one? Yes. On August 3, 1958, this nuclear-powered submarine became the first to cross the North Pole under the ice.
Nuclear-powered submarine, 1958.
Let's hear it, player one.
I'm going to say, what is the Nautilus?
Right.
Okay.
We return to you, player
Let's do
one.
crossword clues B.
A baby belch, 4 letters.
That's a burp.
It's player one. Right.
Let's do crossword clues B.
Player
It
one.
precedes dance, laugh, or flop. 5 letters.
What is belly?
It's player one. Correct.
Crossword clues B for 600.
Player
Best-selling
one.
book that has its own belt. 5 letters.
What's the Bible?
one. Player one.
That is correct.
Please.
Oh, I got the Daily Double. One of the two.
That's it. One of the daily doubles. You are the clue.
A throng, often of beauties. 4 letters.
What is bacon?
Sorry, you're down to second now, player one. Here's the correct response.
Bevy.
Oh, okay.
Player one.
Mr. Bumble's occupation in Oliver Twist. 6 letters.
I can come back.
Let's hear it, player one.
What is a banker?
Ooh, sorry. That's incorrect. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this?
Not good.
We're talking about beetle.
Oh, he's a beetle. Oh, I didn't know that one.
Player one. This country isn't out of kilter, with the thistle as its national flower.
It's gotta be Scotland.
It's player one. Correct. Player one. On March 22nd, 1994, the Dutch ambassador to the United States gave her a new tulip named for her. Let's hear it, player one.
Who is Hillary Rodham Clinton?
Hey, you're right.
Bill Clinton was president of that.
Singularly speaking, the bright blue cornflower is known as this button.
What is a bachelor button?
Let's hear it, player one. Yeah, good. On the plus side again. Player one, Jimmy?
Also called galanthus. It's among the earliest garden flowers to blossom in spring.
Among the earliest garden flowers.
Okay,
to blossom
player
in
one.
Spring, what is a crocus?
Sorry.
Oh, rats.
Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this?
That is unfortunate.
Here's what we were looking for. The snowdrop.
Oh.
Player one. Bloom forms of this large hardy perennial include spoon, quill, and pompon. Yes, player one?
What is a chrysanthemum?
Correct. Good. Back on the plus side. Player one. History diverges from this film, as the Spartans also had over 1,000 men from other Greek cities fighting at Thermopylae. Okay, player one.
What is 300?
That's it. Player one. Johnny Depp is in England on the trail of this serial killer in the Alan Moore-inspired film From Hell.
Who is Jack the Ripper?
Okay, player one. Correct. Player one. Yeah! The second daily double. You? All right, here's your clue. Tom Hanks takes his son on a violent mission of retribution against a gangster boss in this film.
I've seen this film. What is Road to Perdition?
You have maintained your lead. Way to go. Player 1. Sadly, 1994's The Crow, about a man who comes back from the dead, was the last for this star.
Who is Brandon Lee?
Okay, Player 1. That's right. Way to go. Thora Birch and Scarlett Johansson are friends who move in together after high school in this spooky film.
Thora Birch and Scarlett
It's Player 1.
What is Ghost World?
Right. Player 1. In 1999, Thabo Mbeki, who fought to eliminate apartheid, became leader of this country.
What is South Africa?
Player 1. Correct. Player 1. Hu Jintao became the General Secretary of the Communist Party in 2002 and leader of this country in 2003.
What is China?
Let's hear it, Player 1. Good. Player 1. Let's go over to Jimmy.
The country whose flag is seen here elected its first female chancellor in 2005.
What is Germany?
Let's hear it, Player 1. Hey, you're right. In 2006, Stephen Harper of this country's Conservative Party became its Prime Minister. It's Player 1.
I don't think it's Canada because that's Pierre Trudeau. So I'm going to try what is Australia.
No. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this?
I don't think it's Canada because Justin Trudeau is the...
Okay, Player 3. Ooh, sorry. That's incorrect. Okay. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this?
Trudeau was the Prime Minister at that time.
It's Player 2. Yep. And the last clue for $2,000. In 2008, Tillman Thomas became Prime Minister of this Caribbean country invaded by the U.S. in 1983.
Invaded the U.S. in 1983.
Let's hear it, Player 1.
I'm going to say, what is Grenada?
Right.
All right.
Only two of you will be going on to Final Jeopardy. Sorry, Player 3. Final Jeopardy still to come, and here's the category. The 1970s.
Okay.
You need to select your wager.
$100
Let's take a look at the last clue. For an historic February 1972 trip, Richard Nixon and Henry Kissinger each learned to use these. Nixon was better at it.
Oh, I know this. So I'm going to end up with $10,800 this game.
And your response?
Chopsticks, yeah.
And this correct response will add how much to your score?
All right. See you all for the next game, everybody.
Let's see your response. And this correct response will add how much to your score? Player 1, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.